And still, this like I'd love to like bring that back at some point, and because I think I would. I always feel different wrestling as him.
Yeah.
Or whatever, like, and just it's real cool.
When you did make it to WWE, it's a cast of a lot of wide variety of personalities. I mean, it's ECW. They used to call ECW the a locker room full of misfits. And every wrestling locker room has all these eccentric personalities. You can't be real bland and make it in wrestling. But it seems like people talk about you being a level different than even normal. That you are. I mean. Edge talked about how he just liked to spend 5 minutes inside your head and see what it was like, and then he goes, I might run for cover, I might just run for my life, or I might want to stay there for 2 weeks and relax, because Jeff seems to be, so easygoing about things. And Michael Hayes has said that you are not even from this planet, that you're not even from Earth. There's no way that you were of the same thing as all the humans on Earth. Right. First of all, you tell me what you think it is that makes people think that about you. What do they see, and are you aware of that and self-conscious that you come across as that different? Does it surprise you that it's turned out that way?
Not really. I mean, not really. But like one for example, like one thing that I do on it. I mean, steady. Matt. It was the first time we traveled together, like in a while, here recently or whatever, and like to where this is something I always do, even with WWE would be on tours wherever, man. And if there were big staircases and escalators, man, something I've always done, man. You'll never see me get on an escalator and like. Just out of respect for people that are paralyzed, and the thought of a paralyzed person like looking at a stairwell and just wishing they could walk up it so bad. Yeah. To where like all these wrestlers, man. I mean, oh my God. I look at the escalators and I'm thinking anybody that can walk it. They're so lazy, man, and such. They should. I mean, be able to do that just out of respect for the and people that like draws. Like guys that have been injured. Like such a scary thought. Of not being able to move your legs, and so just. I feel that's something that carries luck with me, man, every day of my life, man. Like, just doing things like that. Yeah. Like, compared to, like, to where other guys, I'm like, come on, I mean, it's not that hard to walk up the stairs. I mean, just... And it's really... It might not make any sense at all, but, I mean, just to me, it makes me feel, like, so good about life in general. I mean, as far as... And the respect for being able to walk and being able to, live great. And
do you think that you have a lot of things like that you have your mindset to and your beliefs that you express and other wrestlers see? I mean, what are some other examples that they see that makes them talk about you as if you're from this other planet?
Man, I guess just like it's so crazy. Like when I would just be painting up my arm, like how people do look at me like I'm an alien. Yeah. And I'm like, and I guess some guys probably not fear, but they dread like getting in the ring because they know they're going to get paint all over their face and wherever. But it's such a great thing it's a great gimmick as far as. I get a kick out of it, but I don't know why. I mean, as far as thinking I'm from another planet and all that, for sure, I don't think I'm outrageously different, than anybody. I don't know, to be honest. Do
you think other people are weird? Or do you look at other people and go, I'm just like them? Or do you look at other people and go, that guy's weird to take, not to take an escalator, but like things, do you think it's weird that everybody doesn't paint themselves, whether they're going to be on camera or not, or they're going to be part of a show? No, it's weird. Like I guess it's normal, pretty much normal to take an escalator. It is weird to walk the stairs, but I mean, I think it's something. I think it's kind of cool to just have that thought. I think it's cool to think about yourself being paralyzed and just looking up at stairs and wishing that you could walk up those stairs. I mean, but it just seems like it's a really good thing to do. Like as far as not being too super lazy. Like it kills me on those moving sidewalks when people actually, an older person's understandable, but I mean like when they get on those things and actually just stand there. Just stand. Oh my goodness. Do you have other pet peeves, for lack of a better term, of things that you do or superstitions that you have that kind of sets you apart?
Man, I do a lot of like weird things. Like there's weird things, man. I'll do like I used to when I would race. I was number 12, and like a lot of times before matches or something, I'll just count down from 24 to 1, and then I'll count up to 12, and then count back down from 12 to 0, and say, all right, let's do it. Yeah. It's just strange and something I don't do out loud or anything, but I mean, I'm not sure. I think I know I'm kind of weird or whatever, but I think it's a good kind of crazy,
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't do harm to anybody else, and it keeps you entertained.
All. Yeah, totally. And like when it comes to like paying bills and stuff on time, like my dad, so he's always on me making sure get the bills paid on time, like taxes and stuff, and just always on me because he's so in advance as far as like he'll get it done way before the deadline, and I'm bad to wait to the last minute, you know, with
Really?
a lot of things. Oh yeah.
That doesn't shock me that you're not
Yeah.
timely with your taxes. Do you, when you're traveling on the road with other wrestlers, do you find that you are real laid back and kind of quiet and reserved and kind of a loner, you're in your own thoughts, or are you the one who kind of brings up crazy subjects that just kind of gets people going off on sidetracks?
Oh yeah, I'll bring it if it's Armageddon and like, you know, end of the world discussions, or like space and just overall heaven and hell. Like I'm sure that because that's not an average thing that people talk about.
Well, the first question you asked me, you turned to me in the car and were like, "Do you think Earth is 1 billion years old?"
Right. And
Yeah, I mean that was the first question you ever asked me, just out of the blue. So I mean, I got a taste of. But I'm wondering, I mean, do you think that's part? You do that routinely when you're with people. You're just like whatever's in your head. You're kind of curious and you want to share it and have a conversation on it.
Yeah, I do that, and just out of the blue, like I do that steady.
Whereas other people are wondering, you know, if there's going to be hot women in the hotel lobby, you're thinking about.
I actually found
whether
that
stars, billion stars.
Yeah, and I found that to be. I mean, for guys that don't, you know, that aren't involved in like, aren't in love or are involved in relationships, man, it's a hell of a way to go about like getting women's attraction, as far as like throwing something at them, like, you know, hey, God, wouldn't you love to look back at, you know, from the moon and check out Earth? I mean, wouldn't that just you just throw out a really spacey or wild question? For me anyway, it worked pretty sweet. Or talk about aliens or something, just but poetic it somewhat.
Yeah.
You know, make it sound cool or swift.
Yeah. Do you have favorite authors or TV shows or philosophers or cable channels? I mean, like what gets you going? What gets your mind going that you like to?
At Pearl Jam, Eddie Vedder's like, I love all his lyrics. I've always just like, I mean, I've loved his lyrics from the very first time I've heard. Well, no, at first I was still kind of into rap and stuff, and I thought Pearl Jam was weird at this point. Like when I was still trying to be like a black dude. Like, man,
You were trying to be a black dude?
Yeah, because I was in that phase for a while. Like I was just straight up Vanilla Ice days too. Like I guess after Vanilla Ice kind of faded, that's when I kind of came out of that and got more into the alternative like rock type deal.
Yeah.
But and Scott Weiland from STP, like his lyrics are like strange, but just reading that, like his lyrics and from the Swan Song is what made me start writing. Actually, it was the song "Still Remains," and the chorus is like something. Take a bath, I'll drink the water that you laid. If you should die before me, ask if you can bring a friend.
Yeah.
And just that line, that's like made me pick up the notepad and just want to write something to make somebody feel like, you know, I felt just the words can, you know, really move people, you know, if they're put together in the right sense.
When was the first time that, when was it? How old were you when you started saying, I want to write my own lyrics and create my own music?
I think I was probably 16, 17.
So you were into wrestling at this point also,
yeah.
and you were kind of had different interests even then.
Totally, yeah.
Yeah. And at what point did you think, I want to create music? Because, I mean, you know, 10, 12 years ago, you couldn't just set up a computer and a synth and create the music like you can now, at least not on the same level. What did you learn guitar? How did you explore that interest?
I started with the guitar because my dad's straight up country western, and like if it ain't country western, it's not really music to him. So he would try to teach me, and he was just like moving so fast, and I was like, whoa, I can't do that again. And he would kind of get aggravated, like it was so easy or whatever. But then but I would take a guitar on the road with me, and I learned a little, but I never got really good. But then I started like just experimenting with like different keyboards and stuff, and different instruments like drum machines, and with just a drum and bass line, and got a little digital recording studio deal, like, and it records directly to CD, to where they make those now, to where it used to you couldn't do it directly to CD, but I got one of those, and like it's turned out to be fairly easy and something I could really understand, and just slowly but surely, you know, I just learn more and more each song I do, and each time I pick up the guitar I learn a little more. But it takes a long time to gain that confidence playing the guitar, boy, that's for sure.
And now you've recorded about, what, 15 songs, or even more than that?
Oh yeah, I've got a lot of them, man. I probably over 100 songs, man.
Over 100 songs?
Yeah.
And there's how many of you like released that are kind of floating around the internet or on
just
website?
like there's a set of like 7, the ones that you actually download. That's the only ones I've ever put on the internet.
And one of them is with your dad. Talk about making that and how it's got a country, because it's very different than your other songs.
Yeah.
It's got a country twang to it, but it's remixed, and both you and your dad are singing.
Yeah, and it was something he would always play, and it was the only original song, because I'd always ask him if he ever wrote any original music. And it's a little town near us, and it's called the town's called Pine Bluff, and that's what the song's about. And he just came up to my house one day and sat down, and we just live mic'd it, and he recorded, and I sung a little backup to what he sung, and he had people seem to love that song, man.
Yeah.
Because it's a sweet thing too, just me and my dad too singing there together. It's kind of sweet.
Let's talk about some of your other songs because we're going to put them on the DVD here. There was Pain Farmer, and in that you have lyrics that talk about like 2082 and 1980 or what. Talk about what the significance of the years is and what the theme of the actual song is. And
Pain Farmers, like we grew up farming tobacco and like just knowing what it's like to mass produce like tobacco, or just like what happens when it comes to like the very beginning of the tobacco growing and just going through all the curing of it and all that. Like the whole idea behind that is just like years from now, if marijuana was ever legalized or whatever, and be farmed just like tobacco or whatever, because I mean, it was just an interesting idea I had in my mind at the time, and that's what it's about. And a lot of the stuff I write too, man, I can't really make much sense of it. I mean, some of the things I just write whatever comes to mind first, and just but that's the whole idea about if that were to one day ever happen. And
a lot of people are in favor of that. Are you in favor of legalizing marijuana?
No, I mean honestly, I don't care either way. But I mean, I would honestly. I mean, a lot of people with drunk driving and stuff like that. I mean, at times, I mean, with the right person or whatever, I would much rather see them smoking some marijuana other than being wasted off their with alcohol in them. And
or if they're 14 and skipping school.
Exactly.
I mean, they can do it responsibly.
I mean, yeah, do it responsibly. That's what it's all about, man. So.
Yeah. I mean, and with the potential for hemp and what that can do in the world and how it can be renewed so easily and you're not cutting down trees. I mean, it is crazy that because it doesn't make money for drug companies, it's not even considered by politicians. It's a taboo subject. How about Before After? We're going to put that on there too. What was that song about?
It's just like that's a pretty recent. That's probably one of the newest ones I've recorded, man. It's
So that's the one you did like 2-3 days ago, or?
Yeah, I think it is actually, man. And I have done so many. Like, I think that's the one that talks about like the beginning is. It kind of came from like the whole idea of like when I was wrestling and when I was like great, and then like kind of fell into kind of good, and then just like it starts with like good, great, good. I need great again. Wish I would become great again. Good, great, good. I need great again. You will know when I feel great again, or something like that. But then it goes into like it's talking about memories, and it's basically about times that I were like kind of wishing I could find that desire again, and like and be to the be on the top like a lot of people know I should be and think I should be, and kind of part of me wishes I would have been able to be. But yeah, it's something about that. So
people listen to that, the Before or After, they're going to hear the part of you that actually kind of feels maybe that you let people down or that you let yourself down, even though there's a big part of you that feels like you're doing what's right for you. There is that slice of you that says, what could I be if I had that desire?
Right. Because it's something, let's be great before and after or something like that. And then I cannot help but like always fall into, it seems like every song I write, I'm always falling into just death and like the afterlife, because it's such a curious thing as far as like what happens to us when we die. And like it seems like every song I can't help but like get away. I'm always falling into that groove of like trying to of thinking about like mysteries of the world and universe and what could possibly happen, like all this and that, which is something that's it wouldn't be exciting if we knew.
Not to get too deep, but do you have a theory? Do you have your
not really. My main theory now, as far as I believe the stars. Whenever I hear like that there are as many stars in the sky as there is grains of sand on beaches like here on Earth. I mean, I just can't help but feel that we go to the stars when we die, as far as the shine of the stars that represent our souls and spirit, and because I think NASA or whatever, they're just like trying to find out all this stuff about. I mean, it's just I think it's way beyond us, man. I just don't think there's much sense in it, because when you're talking about light years away and billions of years, I mean, it just overwhelms me how they can actually think we may land on some other planet and traveling at the speed of light or something, to where you would actually have to break yourself down or something, right? Like your whole body. I mean, like, which I see the stars and I see souls, man. I feel that's heaven.
How about Not Me at All?
That's kind of just like that was I wrote that a long time ago. That was one of the like first songs I wrote, and like it's kind of a groovy, kind of out of your body type. When you feel like you're I don't get, maybe temptation. It's got something to do with like when you're doing something, but you think it might be wrong, and you're just not yourself, and you kind of get out of whack. And I don't honestly really don't know what I meant by Not Me at All, but it sounds pretty cool.
How about September Day?
That's obviously just about the attack and on 9/11, because man, I mean, there's so many artists like wrote songs about that, and like I wrote that so quick after we were in Dallas, I think actually.
Houston?
Yeah,
I think it was Houston.
Yeah, Houston. You're right. Yeah, and we had just drove maybe from I don't know, Dallas or something that the night. But anyway, we were in Houston, and we ended up driving back. You know, that Matt drove all the way back from Houston to North Carolina. Man, like when we did that SmackDown or whatever.
It
And
was you and Matt and who else?
Shane. It was a Hurricane and